The Father. Florian Zeller's directorial debut, The Father, is a psychological drama film set in 2020. It is based on Zeller's 2012 play Le Père, which he co-wrote with fellow playwright Christopher Hampton. The film stars Anthony Hopkins, Olivia Colman, Mark Gatiss, Imogen Poots, Rufus Sewell, and Olivia Williams, and is a French-British co-production. It depicts an old man who must struggle with his dementia. Before we continue, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can be updated by my new videos. Plot. After driving away the latest of countless carers, Anne pays a visit to her father Anthony at his flat. He suffers from dementia and frequently forgets major life events as well as the whereabouts of objects in his apartment, including his watch. He claims to Anne that his carer took his watch and that he will never leave his flat. She informs Anthony that she is traveling to Paris to be with a man, which Anthony finds perplexing because he cannot recollect any men in her life since her divorce from James. If he continues to refuse to have a caretaker, Anne believes she will have to place him in a nursing facility. The next day, Anthony comes into Paul, an unknown man, at his flat. Paul claims to be Anne's husband and that Anthony is a resident of their apartment. Anne reappears, but Anthony sees her as a new woman. When Laura, a new caregiver, arrives for an interview, Anthony tells Laura that he used to be a professional dancer and that he doesn't require any help. Laura later reminds Anthony of his other daughter Lucy, whom he hasn't seen in a long time. Anthony is escorted to the doctor, who dismisses the notion that he has memory issues. Later, he expresses his admiration for Lucy, a painter, to Laura. She expresses her regret for Lucy's accident. Throughout the film, it becomes evident that Anthony has been living with Anne for years, despite the fact that he believes he still lives in his own flat. When Anne returns home, she and her husband, who goes by the names Paul and James and looks to be two distinct men, argue about a vacation that had to be cancelled due to Anthony's requirements, as well as Anne's sacrifices for her father. Paul asks Anthony how long he intends to stay in their flat and bother everyone. Similar sequence of events occurs again later, and Paul slaps him on the second occasion. Anthony awakens and wanders out of his flat, landing in a hospital corridor. Lucy was lying in a hospital bed with blood on her face, he recalls. He then wakes up at a nursing home, in an entirely different bedroom. His nurse, who had previously appeared as both Anne and Laura, but now calls herself Catherine, arrives. She informs him that Anne has relocated to Paris and only visits on weekends. Another nurse, Bill, comes to see Anthony, and he appears to be the man who smacked him. Anthony sobs uncontrollably as he struggles to comprehend what is happening to him, as well as Anne's disappearance. He claims he is losing his leaves, branches, wind, and rain, and that he misses his mother. Catherine consoles him by promising to take him to the park later. The perspective of the father. When Anne walks in and scolds Anthony Hopkins, for acting inappropriately against his previous carer, Anthony Hopkins, sits in a chair, listening to music. Anthony, who denies any physical violence, may have said something to her verbally. It's all in good faith, and Anthony appears to be in excellent health. And then informs him that she has found a man and that she will have to relocate to Paris to live with him. Anthony lies in surprise and horror at Anne's decision, attempting to persuade her by claiming that they don't even speak English over there. She leaves, and he stays in bed, attempting to cook something for himself. Following that, the father takes a turn and introduces us to outsiders who barge into his home. Anthony, taken aback and perplexed by the scenario, tries to make sense of it all. But the more he ponders it, the worse the situation becomes. There is never a clear indication of who these people are, so everyone in the audience is in the same boat as Anthony, who is dealing with this strange scenario. Anthony has a very deep and personal aspect to him, which we continue to learn about as the story progresses. His feelings for Lucy, his second daughter, are vividly displayed throughout the film. It becomes evident that Anthony's love for Lucy is greater than his love for anyone else. He's been saddened by not being able to see her for so long, and if there's one thing he desires for, it's for Lucy to call her little daddy again. The story's latter disclosures, as well as Laura's debut as the caretaker, have such a profound and heartbreaking impact. He imagines people and is self-conscious about his appearance. What he craves is what he gets, and the same is true for the things he fears. The harrowing life of an elderly person with dementia is brought to life in a personal and first-person perspective. As the father comes to a close, the spectator will begin to appreciate this condition even more and acquire a fear of it, such as the film's effect. Every frame contains a highly creative use of camera work and misplaced information. Review. A magnificent Hopkins is attempting to negotiate this muddled mix of past and present, creating a performance that is both charismatic and vicious, often in the same word. As he's asked to portray a wide range of feelings and emotions, his approach has a mind-boggling level of specificity, but also a gentleness and openness we've rarely seen from him. It's some of Hopkins' best work throughout his long and illustrious career. Olivia Colman is consistently his equal as his daughter, Anne. She, too, must ride this roller coaster while trying to maintain a British stiff upper lip in the face of a rapidly deteriorating scenario. When her father says something cruel and disrespectful, she'll manage a grin as tears build up in her eyes or flinch ever so slightly while maintaining her tolerance. Colman is fantastic as our guide, as much as Zeller will let us have one, as he usually is. But we mostly see the world via Anthony's eyes, and it appears to be a relatively calm place to be at first. When we first see him, he's in his huge, well-decorated London flat, listening to opera on a pleasant afternoon. However, Anne pays him a visit soon after and informs him that she has met someone and will be relocating to Paris to be with him. While memory loss causes a jolt in the tale and allows Hopkins to show his character's dissatisfaction grandly, the production design and editing throughout the film is so subtle that you'll want to rewind a few seconds just to admire the minor variations. Production designer Peter Francis brilliantly produces multiple variants of the same, enclosed scene, whether it's new tiles on the kitchen backsplash, a rearranged bedroom, or a white grocery bag instead of a blue one holding the chicken to roast that night. And what editor Yorgos Lamprinos does here is so complex yet so modest that it's like watching a magician perform a magic trick right in front of our eyes. Lamprinos, who won Best Editing from the Los Angeles Film Critics Association, has a difficult assignment in producing a plot that is both puzzling and engaging, and he handled it gracefully. And Ludovico Einaudí's score, which was recently included in Chloe Zhao's beautiful Nomadland, parallels the performances in the way it tugs at our hearts without being mawkish. The story's fluidity reminds me of Charlie Kaufman's achingly gloomy drama I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which I saw last fall. While Kaufman's plot was immersed in his characteristic surrealism, the saddest aspect of both films is how they represent home and family, which should be safe havens, as fleeting. The people and images we use to define ourselves may appear to be familiar, but there's something odd about them, and it's terribly disconcerting. I believe it will be especially poignant for people who have witnessed such deterioration in their own family members. However, it is possible that it will bring some comfort. I hoped you find this video helpful. If you liked the video, do like and subscribe as it really helps our channel, and do remember to give your feedback in the comments below. See you in the next video with some more interesting topics and facts.